Everyone, it's Nancy, the nurse practitioner, and I've got some great guests for you today. You've had Amy Gersten. How do I say your last name, Amy?
Geetson.
Geetson. Oh, I totally blew that one off. On a Scleroderma lecture that we did together, and we're going to talk all about that, as well as brought another guest aboard, Eileen Wax. Is your name? Okay, great. So they're here because they started a fundraising program, and it's very exciting because we're going to talk about scleroderma first. And I do have a video you can go back and really look at what scleroderma is and all the things that it can cause in the body, in the physically and internally. So a very interesting disorder for sure. So Amy is the secretary for S.H.O.U.T, and we're going to go into what S.H.O.U.T is in a few minutes. But can you just tell us a little bit about what scleroderma is first, Amy?
Sure. First, thank you, Nancy, for having me. And Eileen, we're super happy to be here. So scleroderma is an autoimmune disease. It's considered rare. There's only about 300,000 people in the United States that have been diagnosed. It is a disease that affects the skin and the blood vessels, and it kind of turns your skin hard and tight. And so with that, you can have two different kinds. You can have limited, which only affects the skin, or you can have what I have, which is systemic, which affects the inside of the body as well. So my lungs, heart, GI issues I have, all that is affected. There is no cure, and there is no known origin for scleroderma. So it's very hard to treat because each person is different. As we'll learn with Eileen, she has more of internal issues like me, but in a different way.
So it's a disorder that you can get at any age and any sex could be afflicted?
Yes, it does not discriminate. So any age, any sex, any, color, creed, whatever. There are kids, pardon?
Are there any genetic issues, anything genetically they're finding that there's a link or no?
Not that I know of. It's not hereditary. There's no genetic link. They're really unsure on how you get it. Sometimes they say it could be environmental issues, like if you're around chemicals, or there was an article I read that linked it to silicone exposure, but they really don't know why you get it or how you get it. I was diagnosed when I was 19, and Eileen was diagnosed. She's had it for 23 years, so I'll let her tell you a little bit about her story.
Okay, so you started a S.H.O.U.T International, and how'd you guys get involved, and what is S.H.O.U.T?
So it's an acronym for Scleros, helping others unite together.
That's
and yeah, what it is we started a nonprofit, myself, Eileen, and about 3 or 4 other scleroderma patients. We're all patients. And it's a nonprofit that uses fundraising campaigns and crowdfunding efforts to raise money to help scleroderma patients who have economic needs. So if you need a wheelchair or if you have to travel. And it's really a unique foundation because really there hasn't been anything done like this before. We're currently working on trying to get a registry for scleroderma patients so that you have contact information in case you go in the hospital or God forbid you pass away. We can notify the scleroderma community. So that's one of the things we're really working on right now, working really hard on.
So it's on Facebook, right? Tell me about
Yes, it's on Facebook. It is S.H.O.U.T International. It's also on Twitter, which is at S.H.O.U.T, S.H.O.U.T org. And it's on Instagram, which is at S.H.O.U.T with the periods in between. So S.H.O.U.T period, H period, O period, U period, T period, international.
So everybody, just before we go on, as you know me, I have a Facebook page, and I put all these links on my Facebook page, which is also called Caregiver Success. That's my YouTube channel, which please hit the bell and please subscribe. But in addition, I'll put those to you. If you like Twitter or you like Instagram, go where you like and get onto the S.H.O.U.T site, which sounds really cool. So
yeah, we also have a website. So it's www.shoutinternational.org.
I see that. Okay, I'll put that all up there.
Thank you.
So Eileen, talk to us. Tell us about you.
Hi, well, thank you for having So I'm originally from New York City, and we moved to Vermont when I was 27. And when I was 38, my hands all of a sudden swelled up. Okay, and I was a teacher and had recess duty. So my doctor luckily shared an office with a rheumatologist. So he sent me right to the rheumatologist, and he did an ANA test and also said I had Raynaud's. So it got me out of recess duty for the rest of my time because it's cold here. But then when I was, so he watched me every year and said I can get lupus, scleroderma, or just Raynaud's. So then 10 years later when I was 48, 1998, I was taking a course with other teachers and one person got sick and I got sick. So I thought I just caught her virus. However, it wasn't getting better. And one day my husband said, we got to take you to the doctor. I says, no, I'm all right. So we went to my doctor and he saw me on his lunch. This is my rheumatologist on his lunch hour. And he took my blood pressure and it was 220 over 180. So originally, and my eyes were yellow. So he sent me over to the hospital. And as I was changing into my nightgown, I had a seizure. So I was out, but he canceled his appointments for the afternoon. And this was in Bennington. And they waited for a bed in the ICU over in Albany Medical Center. And I was airlifted over there with kidney failure, renal crisis. And I'm so grateful because I had a team of doctors working with me and they diagnosed me pretty quickly that it was scleroderma. And they got my blood pressure down really quickly. However, I was hospitalized for like 3 weeks. And then I spent the rest of the year home and it affected my kidneys, my gastric system and my skin a little bit. And I was really lucky because my brother was doing research with a doctor in Philadelphia, Jefferson, who was doing skin studies on mice, like hard skin. So he sent me down there as soon as I was better. And this doctor put me on this medicine and it was penicillamine D and it took care of my skin issues because I had hard spots and stuff like that. So I'm just really grateful that my creatinine is back to normal.
Yeah.
And so, I'm on medicines to treat my symptoms, which is high blood pressure and my gastric system. And I see the rheumatologist twice a year. And, I'm just really super conscious of my health, as we all are, and have great doctors working with me.
So any cardiac issues besides the blood pressure?
Nope.
Usually that
No, but I have an echo every year and it's
good.
All right. I think now sometimes there's a mask of like, I'm getting older. I'm pretty old here. So is it old age stuff that's going on or scleroderma?
Yeah. So that's a good question. You're young with scleroderma and you have a young body and you could adapt with some of those changes to some degree. So what happens as you get older and how long do people live with scleroderma? Is there
So I think every person is different. Like you can go to a conference and 300 people can be in the room and not 2 people look the same. So you can look at me, I see some visual things, but no one else does. And it's just internal for me. Whereas, Amy can have visual signs. Yeah. So it's a progressive disease and you just don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
I guess now there's another, besides systemic and, diffuse, they have a new name for people like me who are kind of like the progression has stopped, but you're still being treated for all these symptoms.
Well, so that's very interesting. I could see how it affects so many different parts of the body. Every single person is different. It's almost like you go up to somebody in the room in your conference and say, okay, how did it hit you? Okay, how did it hit you? And everybody has a different story, different age, different situation. It's very interesting. My mother had a collagen disorder. She had Sjogren's syndrome. And she actually died from complications from that at an early age at 68. So I kept my eye on that all these years. Luckily, I've been okay. But, hey, like you said, it's not genetic necessarily. It's an immune system issue as well. As something happens to that immune system. How are you doing through COVID? Just a quick on the side. You guys been laying low, I guess.
I know, luckily for me, Vermont is not very populated, except we have an influx of tourists.
Mhm.
So I have a little group of friends that
Yep.
we do things together,
That's
and
perfect.
I'm very careful about where I go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into something that you really want to bring up here, which is really important about a gentleman named Jacob Davila. Did I say that correctly? He's in the hospital
Davila, yes.
now. Davila. He's in the hospital. He does have scleroderma. He's one of the board members. So tell us a little bit about Jacob and how we can
Sure.
help him.
So I met Jacob about 10 years ago at a conference, and we also did a lot of advocacy on Capitol Hill. He's an amazing person. He's had scleroderma for a long time, like me. He was diagnosed as a teen, and he's had some setbacks. He's had to have open heart surgery about 10 years ago, things like that. But he has chronic kidney stones, and those kidney stones went septic a couple weeks ago, and he had to be airlifted in Houston to the medical center, where he had several brain bleeds or strokes. And so he's not doing really well. He right now has lost the ability to swallow, and he has a feeding tube, and he's unable to put weight on his legs, so he's in a wheelchair. He's a fighter though. He's going to rehab. He's doing what he has to do. He has some short-term memory loss, but for the most part, he knows us. He recognizes us. He's able to speak. And God willing, he'll get better. We did, because he is underinsured, we started a GoFundMe campaign for him. And we've raised about $5,000 so far, so it's really exciting, but we know he's going to need a lot of help.
Yeah.
So if you go to any of the S.H.O.U.T websites, or any of the S.H.O.U.T social media, Facebook, Twitter, you can find his GoFundMe there. And if you would please donate, any little bit amount is very, very appreciated.
So we'll put Jacob's name also on my caregiver success page, and I'll put it in also the introduction of this video so that people could see how to spell his name and find him. You know what I mean? Otherwise, sometimes people give up and say, I tried,
I can also give you the GoFundMe link. I can give you
Okay,
that.
definitely give me all that and we'll put it for you all to find. And of course, if you guys have any questions, you always know how to find Nancy the NP. Just go nancythenp@gmail.com and ask me a question, or ask me a question on my YouTube channel. And I've been answering everyone all over the world. So let's just do this right. So what's the next step for S.H.O.U.T and its volunteers?
So I'll let Eileen talk a little bit about it. We created a campaign to raise some funds for S.H.O.U.T so that we could be able to do our job, which is raise money for patients. So Eileen came up with the idea to come up with this walk. And Eileen, why don't you tell them about what you did?
Okay, so I also volunteer at a therapeutic riding center, and we did a virtual hike as a way to raise money, and it was pretty easy to facilitate. So I went to their website, which is runsignup.com, and you create a virtual hike. And my friends and I sat and we looked for a hike that would be 200 miles so people could do it in a period of 4 months, would be like a couple of miles a day. And we did it out west thinking that we would get people from all over the country to become participants. And as an appreciation of a person participating, we're giving them a mask with our logo on it. And it's just a matter of signing yourself up at, it's called John Muir Virtual Hike. And John Muir is a hike near Yellowstone in California. And so you just do your exercise program. And even some scleroderma patients aren't walking, but they have some kind of movement involved in their daily exercise program, and anything could be counted as your virtual hike. And you record your mileage. And
how do you record your mileage? You record it yourself?
At the website, there's a place to put your mileage in once you sign up, and it keeps track of it as you're going along. So, and every week, please sign up, and we'll post a picture. I'll post a picture of somewhere on the hike so people can see it. So are you here yet? Just stuff like that. So we have 22 people signed up so far.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we got to get that rocking and rolling for sure.
yes, it costs $40 to sign up,
Okay.
which was, a random price that we yeah.
Yeah, and then you get the free mask, and it's really great. Like, you walk up the stairs, and then you can count that as a little bit of mileage.
Right.
So you actually have to write it down or go right to your computer and put it on or on your phone or something? How do
I think it depends how a person keeps track of that. For me, I write it on a piece of paper, and then after the week, I'll record it, right? So some people just
Okay,
record
fun.
things whenever they do it.
Yeah, when you register, it gives you like your own little account where you can record all of your movements and your mileage, and then you could see, right, Eileen, you could see where you would be on the trail.
Yes.
Say you did
Yeah.
5 miles that week, you could see where on the trail, if you walked it, you would be at this point or whatever. It's really cool.
Well, I'm a parish nurse at my church, and I'm having a meeting tonight. And this is a kind of place where you get congregations of people who, when you have lots of people in a parish or in a synagogue or in a mosque that just are congregating, and they probably know somebody with some sort of autoimmune problem and say, I'd like to do this. You probably could really do something with that if we could. I'll make some noise tonight, but that's the way you do it. You get clumps of people in one spot, and even if 5 people sign up at every little place.
Right.
Right.
And,
And you get a free mask.
instead of
Yes.
doing the hike, I've just donated at that site. So it's just, you can do anything. It's just to get our name out and to raise money for our organization. It's not that it's all used to help other scleroderma patients.
Okay, it's not that it is, or it is?
It is. It's just
It is.
used for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds wonderful. And you know what? It's a great avenue for people to get out, enjoy the fall or whatever they got all over the country for weather, and get exercise, and also for a good cause. I should sign up. This would be fun. I'll find some parish people with me and we'll do it together.
Yeah,
So,
100% of the net proceeds will go to helping scleroderma patients
Right.
in if they need economic relief.
that's really wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the group out there, all my peeps?
No, just thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
S.H.O.U.T
really
is a
appreciate it.
it's a passion project of both of us. And scleroderma patients, it's really hard to find people that connect. So we have this small but really powerful community, and
That's
we
all you
just want to
need.
try to do something positive. And we lose so many people over the years. I mean, through COVID alone, we've lost like 5 patients. So S.H.O.U.T was created specifically to help those patients live the rest of their life as complete as it can. So
So I travel an hour and a half to go to the doctor, and some people travel where they have to stay overnight, and they might need help with that or equipment. And I think the neat thing is that the members are from all over the country, and we met at these advocacy days on Capitol Hill and just hit it off. So it's exciting,
Great to see you guys. Let's get this out there, and everybody just subscribe to my channel, Caregiver Success on YouTube, and see you later. Okay, stay well. Take care.
You.
thank you, Nancy.
Bye, Eileen.